Welcome to the Build Show. Music's a little different, isn't it? We're celebrating the birth of a Titan tonight. So, tonight, we're not just building any PC, we're building Jace's Titan from the website. So if you're not familiar with the Titan is one of the biggest that I have built out on the website. The Build Show After Hours, pretty much, yes. I have been servicing PCs all day today. There has not been a moment of me sitting down today doing nothing. I have built 2 PCs today. I serviced 3 PCs, received parts for another build that we'll probably have to do now tomorrow, because I was going to try to fit it in at the tail end of this stream, but it's probably going to have to be a Monday night build tomorrow, and it will also be a late night stream as well. And then what else did I do? I wrote several quotes for custom PCs today. Today was a very long, busy day leading up to this moment where we build a Titan. So that is why we have the exciting, suspenseful music. The birth of a Titan. Uh-oh. I need you on the other screen. Why don't you... No, move it over here. No, other screen. There you go. Yeah, sometimes these video engineers, they don't know what they're doing. Epic music for an epic build. We don't have to listen to this the entire build, but just wanted to share the epicness of this build. Heard a lot of good things about Seasonic. Watch that super high-end build. Super high-end building be used just for YouTube and Minesweeper. I don't think it's going to be used for that. I did talk to the person who purchased it, but Chef, welcome back to the Build Show. Darton, welcome to the Build Show, or welcome back. I think you've been here before. Intel for the win, woohoo! Roy, welcome to the Build Show, or welcome back. Steve Anderson, welcome back to the Build Show. Yeehaw is king. Welcome back to the Build Show. Tech Works, LMAO. What's so funny about this? This is an epic build. Your site looks so good and professional. Thank you, Lethal Wick. I appreciate that. It still needs a lot of work. I'm not happy with a ton of the pricing on there, so a lot of adjustments are probably going to be made over the next month. I've been working on it. We've been working on it for a while, I think since about April. This new website, new edition or version of the website has been live since I think May, and we've been just chewing at little bits and pieces here, trying to perfect it. There's a lot that I'm still not happy with, so we're going to keep working on it, make it as perfect as possible, and then everything's going to change, and then we'll have to redo it all again. Been following for a month or two, just haven't gone on Twitch for a while. Nice. Well, thank you. I appreciate the follow. Hey, buddy, I responded back to my email. Gotcha. It's been a extremely busy weekend, so I apologize. I have not been very good at responding to emails today, or yesterday, for that matter. So just be patient with my email responses, and if you leave comments, I try to go back and respond to those as well. Just be patient with me. I am only one man. Finally ditched Norton. No regrets. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. You made the right choice, I believe. Steve Anderson, hey, I have 5 Thermalright RGB fans coming. Are they good? Yes. Steve, they are really nice fans for the price. Really nice. Okay. So, depending on the next one. wonder what this one's like. I was curious. Oh, this one's epic. I like this one. Okay. Oh. You could have just handed it to me. I didn't have to walk over there. Okay, here we go. So the Titan RTX 5090 build that we're going to be assembling tonight. I think that's a little too loud. You know, these sound engineer guys tonight are just off the wall. They're just off the wall. So the RTX 5090 Titan that we're going to be assembling tonight is for Jace. Build number 83 for 2025. My name is Ben Estrino over here at the Empower Gaming Computers, and tonight we're going to be building Jace's PC. Leading off for the build out tonight is the RTX 5090, but it's not just any RTX 5090. Tonight we're going to be building with the Aurorus Master COC edition. Got 32 gigs of GDDR7, it's 512-bit PCIe 5.0, and we also, if you haven't gathered, we're going with a white theme build. So we have the white card to match the build. The AMD Ryzen 9 9950X3D will be used in this build, which is a 16-core, 32-thread processor with the amazing AMD 3D V-Cache, which boosts up to 5.7 out of the box. We also have a Thermalright AM5 contact frame, which is version 2, as well as the Lian Li Galahad Hydro Shift 360 millimeter AIO. This one has the LCD screen on it, so we'll be able to customize that, putting some cool graphics on there, as well as whatever he wants to end up putting on there. You could put a funny GIF on there for if you wanted to. Motherboard is the Gigabyte X870E, and we are running the Aurorus Elite Wi-Fi 7 and ICE. ICE is just identifying as the white version of the Aurorus Elite. The ICE lineup. 64 gigs is our RAM. It's the G.Skill Trident Z5 Neo addressable RGB. It's DDR5. It's 6,000 megahertz at a CL30. We are going to be probably running AMD Expo with this kit. It is a matte white kit, so again, trying to match that white theme throughout the build. We have a total of 8 terabytes of storage between 2 NVMe M.2 Gen 4 drives, which is the Team Group MP44s that we're going to be running in this build. And then the case is the O11 Dynamic Evo ARGB case. Next, we have a total of 7 fans throughout the case, not including the additional 3 fans on the cooler, but they're all Unifans by Lian Li SL Infinities 120s. So we're doing 120 reversed on the side, 120 reversed on the bottom, a regular in the rear. Or no, we're going reversed in the rear. That sounds terrible. Don't. And then we also have our fans for our cooler, because you can buy this cooler without fans. I like to do that because, one, the cooler is a lot cheaper. 2, I could choose the fan that I want to put on there. And so I bought the extra fans for the cooler. Yes, I know this cooler, actually I don't know if the Hydro Shift includes an Infinity fan option, but these are easier to get than trying to track down an Infinity version of this cooler. I know that much. The Seasonic Vertex 1200 watt 80 plus gold power supply we're going to be using in the build tonight. So we have all the correct cables that we need and power requirements for this entire build. The graphics card, we're planning to go vertical, and we're going to be using the Cooler Master vertical graphics card holder kit V3 is what it's called on the box, but it's the riser. It has the PCIe 4.0 riser cable, and it also has the universal bracket that fits well in the Lian Li case. I do like these. I'm not a big fan of some of the Lian Li brackets. They're expensive, and they're just a pain to work with sometimes. So I like these Cooler Master options because they're way more customizable, so I can put the card in deeper if I wanted to, or keep it shallow, etc. There's a lot more customization, and it holds a 3-slot card easily. Next is our cables. We have white and black extensions for the motherboard, the EPS cable, and the 12-volt high power, as well as I did grab a larger version than what's included with the case, the GB02 graphics card support bracket. But we're not going to be using this. I realize that now because we are going vertical with the card. So we can send that with the build if he wants to add that later, if he ever wanted to change it from vertical to non-vertical, so he has that bracket option. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention we're going to be using Cryonaut Extreme for the thermal paste. So literally everything in this build is perfected at this point. There is nothing much better we can do except for maybe go to PCIe Gen 5 with the storage, which is more expensive and kind of dumb for just gaming. There's really no need for it when you're in a gaming PC. And I mean, there's nothing else better we could do on this build outside of that, really. 16 fans, including the AIO fans, GPU fans, PSU fans. Yeah, it's a ton of fans. There's a lot of fans in this build. It would be nice if all the cores in the 9950X3D had the 3... Yeah, I know all of them don't have it, but a great, solid build regardless. So what do you guys think of this build? Overkill? I know it's overkill. But that's kind of what we build here. Overkill. All right, let's get to building, shall we? What's up, owner? Welcome back to the build show. Hey, I have I need extra cooling, $20.90 plus tax. Seemed fair. It's more than fair. Thermalright in general is just enough kill. Thank you, chef. Maybe a tad bit more salt. In 8K 240 FPS. Yeah. Nah, it's the minimum specs for hardcore competitive Minesweeper. I haven't touched Minesweeper in so long. I don't even know if I could make it out again. Sweep the mines. I made it, kinda. Oh, you made it just in time. We're just starting. The late one. We started late. Sorry, guys. We'll try to get back into an earlier start here in the next week or so. We got a couple more builds coming up throughout the week. So, a lot of cool stuff that we're going to be building. But this is the build. And yes, the exclamation point build command does work and is updated. Out of all the cases that you've built in, which was your most disliked and most liked case? It's a very good question. My most recent disliked case was that Sama case that looked like the Montech XR. It was very similar, or it looked like the, gosh, what is it called? I gotta think of the name. Drawing a blank all of a sudden on the names of these parts because I'm like all over the place right now. The Sama, I actually have one here. The Sama V400 was probably my most disliked case recently that I've built in. Primarily because they tried to match the, what is that case? It's like the Montech XR or the Thermaltake View 270, but it's slightly smaller and it's a little bit more compressed, and it makes it working in it very, very difficult. And I didn't really like the experience building in it. So definitely recommend the Montech XR or even the Thermaltake View 270, which there's a couple of things that I didn't like on that one. But I'm drawing a blank on the one that I like the most. The Okeanos Aqua 7. Out of all three of those, probably my favorite for that style of case. We're talking dual chamber cases. Obviously, Lian Li probably takes the crown. NZXT has a good shot with their H9 or H7 flow options. I don't like the Elite with the glass. dumb. But they're NZXT, and I'm not a big NZXT guy, if you haven't noticed, or if you followed me long enough, you've probably seen I don't have a lot of NZXT stuff here on the table very often, but the NZXT H9 Flow is actually a really nice case. So we're talking just cases. But the Lian Li 011 Dynamic Evo is probably my favorite out of all of them, dual chamber wise. King 95 Pro is also way up there on the list. Probably in front of the NZXT build, just because of the you could sometimes get it for less than the 011 Evo, and it comes with more value, including, you know, your reversed fans, hub, and all that stuff. So a lot of different things to consider. But number one favorite case, probably the 011 Dynamic Evo. Number one hated case, I'd have to think about that one for a while, because there's a lot of cases I dislike. I don't think I have like a number one would never build in. I can. I hate NZXT as a company, but they make pretty cases. Yeah, exactly. See, it's hard to say they don't make a good case, because they do. And it's not really the company that was behind all that stuff earlier this year. It was more so their partner company that they were working with. So not really their fault, but it is their fault. The cheapest Aorus 5090 Master goes for $3,000. It's expensive, but it looks like the best, better than the Astral in my opinion. Well, the Master is the master of its type, so hopefully that's what we're getting out of it. Montech Air Max for the win. That is probably for the default ATX mid tower. Your typical ATX mid tower, 100% go to Montech 903 Air Max. That is my favorite case, definitely. Shoebox is a great case. Yeah, Shoebox can work. What case are you using right now? I'm actually using a fairly older case by Lian Li. It's the Lian Li Landcool 205 USB-C mesh. So the front panel is mesh. It's got USB-C on it. They added the USB-C, so they had to make a new model with the USB-C option. But it's just a standard ATX mid tower right now, what I'm running. Yeah, but I mean, if we're comparing the value of a ATX on the ATX mid towers, if we're just looking at the standard mid towers and you're looking at value, the Montech Air 903 Max provides more value for pretty much the same performance from the Landcool 216. The Landcool 216 is a great case, don't get me wrong, but you could get the Montech Air 903 Max for sometimes less than $70, and Landcool 216 I don't think has ever dipped below 90 bucks, 80 bucks maybe. I thought about going ITX in my next build. I'm getting old and don't like lugging heavy stuff around anymore. Just put wheels on it, Steve, and then wheel it around. You don't have to lug it around, just wheel it around. That's what I think I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have my whole desk on wheels. It'll have air brakes, so I'll turn the air brakes off, you know, release them, and then we'll just wheel it over somewhere else. The whole setup. I won't even have to unplug anything except for the power cord. And maybe yeah, of course, the Ethernet cable as well. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is the value there. The Air Max also comes with the 903 Air Max comes with the fan controller and the RGB controller, which is nice to have, especially if you're putting more fans in the system, which that system or that case can house more fans. So definitely a plus. Good evening, Austin. Mike, how you doing? How you doing? Make clean motherboards too. NZXT boards, that is. Yeah, they make some pretty good pretty clean boards. Hard to argue with that. Okay, so without further ado, let's move forward with assembling the Titan for Jace tonight. I know it's late, and I know his dad was like, hopefully not too much later than past 8, and we started almost at 10 o'clock here, so Eastern time. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to get these late, but I gotta keep up with the schedule. So basically, if we run out of time, I have to push forward and get these built. Don't have a choice. Hopefully we'll swing back around and get into a better schedule. We'll turn it around. That isn't. Weird. Okay, we want to keep these kind of handy. These are the extensions because we'll probably grab those at some point here. We need the motherboard, the SSDs, the RAM, the CPU, thermal paste, and the contact frame. Obviously, pretty early on. This we won't need until we need the graphics card, so that can go to the card. Shift. Probably pop that open to get the mounting brackets out of the box before we get to the case. I'm good. How you doing? How you doing? Porkishlower, what's up, man? Why no worky? That's a good question. Let me go take a look. Yeah, somebody, or we tried to use it yesterday on Twitch and it wasn't working on Twitch. Do you know if the exclamation point build command is working over there? I don't know why it's not working. Says it's active. Let's try doing this. Alrighty, I'm moderator. Alright, I disabled it and re-enabled it on the Twitch side. Let's give it a test. Discord's not working either. The Discord link. It's the whole CloudBot. Yeah. All the commands aren't working on Twitch. Wonder if it's working over here, Jay. This will be posted, right? Yes, you can always go back and watch this, Jay. It'll be on the YouTube channel, correct? Including all this stupid extra stuff we're doing right now. Trying to figure out, because we can do, for example, exclamation point build in the chat, and then it should be spitting out a response. YouTube works, or if Kick works. Build. Kick works. Twitch doesn't. Interesting. I don't know why it just randomly it's something with Streamlabs, guys. This is inactive. I think I disabled it and then I went to re-enable it. Maybe it didn't work. Or maybe I disabled it again. I don't know. There we go. I disabled it and reactivated it. There we go. It's working now. Probably broke somewhere else. but it's working. Something else probably broke, but yeah, I know. Now it works. I disabled it and re-enabled it. Just took a second for it to come back up. Waiting for the Empower AI to reboot. Pretty cool Wi-Fi antenna, though. Alright. Don't think we need any of that stuff. You're welcome. Now, I think we're slightly crooked here. Let me just try to fix that real quick so we can zoom in on the ultra white board. Like my homemade Echo. All right, so first thing we're going to do is install our Ryzen 9 9950X 3D processor into the socket, which is going to be right there. And then we're going to change out the contact frame and replace the one that's on the board there with the Thermalright AIM-5 contact frame. That goes in the box, and that gets shipped with the PC for anybody that's wondering. Do those come with the PC? Yes. Of course they do. This is probably the only black component in the entire build. Just want to throw that out there. Which will be underneath the cooler. You won't be able to see it. Yeah, there's not much better you can get here. Other than going PCIe Gen 5, like I said, with the SSDs, but... I mean, it's kind of pointless. You want fries with your PC? I actually wouldn't mind some fries right now, some giant idiot, if you don't mind. Yeah, you buy a Titan, you get free fries. I think he's being sarcastic, Porgerslore. Go. So now that we have that on, I'm going to remove these plastic brackets because I'm pretty sure we have to use the brackets that come with this cooler. We're not using these stock ones. May as well remove these. And then we'll go ahead and get our Hydro Shift LCD 360 in white out of the box. We'll get our mounting hardware for our cooler added to the motherboard. We don't have to do it later while it's in the case. Wait. Do they fry the fries along with the chicken so the potatoes absorbs chicken flavor? Probably. I wouldn't doubt it. I think some restaurants actually probably use the same grease for their fryer, which is a big no-no most places. This thing's always pretty cool to work with. I don't know if anybody else here has worked with them before. The Hydro Shift. But what's unique about the Hydro Shift is it carries the hoses to like the center of the PC and then drops the block right where it needs to be, and it kind of hides the hoses. It's an interesting design purely for aesthetics. And it makes a very nice looking PC. Can't remember if we have to use this or not. I don't remember what that was for. Might have to reference some documentation on that one. I can't remember. Good thing we have one. Do 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 do. Oh. Jawohl. Jawohl. Pretty sure that bracket is optional. Just to kind of tuck the tubes away if we need more tucking. Not required, but we could add it. I'll show you when we get to that point what it's for. Does anybody remember what ports? Pretty sure we just use the top one and then these two, but I can't remember if there's something special on this board. Yeah, if you need to move where the hoses come down. Yep. I don't think we need to on this one in the 11 Evo. Because there's already one on there. It's an additional one, so if we need to push it further or bring it back further. Alright, so 64 gigs of DDR5. And this is 32 gigs times 2, so 2 sticks at 32 gigs, totaling out to 64 gigs. And it is a 6000 megahertz CL30 kit. And this is a Trident Z5 RGB kit. I said Neo before, and that actually might be in the list as Neo RGB. It is actually not Neo RGB. They are two different kits, but this one is a kit that is on the QVL list for this board, so fully support it. The difference is this one is going to be running Intel XMP. I know. Like, oh, why would you do that? I don't know. You're a monster. I know. But it's fully supported, so we're good. Top and center. The top and center. For M.2s. Good call. Alright, let's see here. Yo, what's up? Yeah. What's up, King? How's it going, man? Welcome back to the Build Show. I saw you earlier in the beginning. Wait. Then they add gravy? I didn't know they had gravy. Trust me, they blow your mind. Hello? Gravy on fries actually sounds really good. It's kind of like mashed potato, but French fries. What's up, XD? Welcome back to the Build Show. Hope you are doing well. I'm doing good. How are you? I had 2 tuna melts tonight. It was very good. Nice, Steve. Those actually do sound very good as well. I'm actually really hungry right now. If you haven't noticed, I'm hungry. I haven't eaten dinner yet. I ate a pretty late lunch, so it's part of the reason. And then since then, it was just rush, get everything done, and then get to the build stream, start the stream, and then here I am. So, that's why I'm running on E, I guess. E is not for everyone. All right, so we're going to install 2 4 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSDs, totaling out to a total of 4 terabytes of storage. These are Team Group MP44s, which are Gen 4 drives, coming out to about 7,000 megabits read-write, with the 3D TLC SLC caching. So, super fast. Super fast drives. Really nice ones, actually. I've been a fan of the MP44s for a while, guys. We started playing around with the Gen 5s, specifically the Samsung's 9100s. Those ones are pretty fast. And we'll probably be switching the Titans over to them soon. Just doesn't make sense to do it, you know, with their current price. They're still pretty expensive. Even though everything on this build is expensive. Alright, so I'm probably going to go top one and the top center. So M.2C and M.2A is what I would do. Both of those are listed as CPU driven. I don't know if that's going to impact our PCIe plus speed for our X16 slot. Let me double check this. I'm going to go look it up real quick. Jeff, unless you know the answer, if I put one here, and C and A, that's what they're labeled as, M.2C and M.2A, will it impact my X16 speed? That's what I want to know. Got it. You know Chinese? We're on the desk mic, so might sound a little different. It's actually the same microphone, just in a different spot. It's actually two separate mics of the same microphone. There's no camera over here right now because I've hit my USB limit on my PC. But you guys can browse with me. This kind of looks like we're getting close. We're talking SATA controllers, RGB controllers. There we go. There's two types of M.2s. Okay. Yeah, we know that. You want to install M.2 and then 110. Okay, don't care. If you wish to. No. Step 3, please. M.2. I understand that, but I just want to see the configuration. Here we go. Where's the show where it tempers performance? Maybe it'll show it on specifications. Page 9. Got it. So the M2B CPU and M2C CPU connectors become unavailable when AMD Ryzen 8000 series. Well, we don't have an 8000 series. Supports PCI 5 and times 4x2. Where am I missing it? M.2, M2D SB integrated in chipset supporting socket 3, M key type. Where am I missing that? M.2, M2B CPU, M2C CPU, integrated CPU supporting socket 3 M key type SSDs. These are just Gen 4 SSDs, so let me just take a peek here. Here we go. So this is on the support specifications page, or the board page under specifications. This is kind of what I wanted to see. When M.2B CPU or M.2C CPU connector is populated, the PCI X16 slot operates at X8 mode. That's what we wanted to know. So M.2B and M.2C, or M2C and M2B, we don't want to use that because it shares bandwidth with PCIe 16. So those are the two slots we want to avoid, M2B and M2C. I found it my own special way. Funny thing, not related to this, I opened a pickle jar this week and a 40-year-old oil filter wrench with a 40-year-old. That is pretty genius, so. What's up, Pro? You take A-Firm, Ben? You built my first PC and I drove my other PC out a few months ago. and put 4 terabyte SICK in it, if you remember. Also, gonna have to bring my current PC to you for a look over. Hit 95 Celsius on the CPU while playing BF6 beta today. Dang. I thought the beta ended today, didn't it? Yeah, that's pretty hot. 95C on the CPU sounds like there's probably something going on there. But yes, AFirm on the website is accepted. And if you want a custom build and you want to do AFirm, we can do that as well. Can't change name for some reason. Ends in a few hours. Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. If you're looking for another custom build, new one, and you're looking for AFirm or to use AFirm, definitely can do that. If you use PCI Gen 5 drives, it will share bandwidth. You're using Gen 4 drives. That's what I thought, Lethal. Let me double check that. So, I don't know. This is confusing. Maybe because I'm not in like the actual manual. But it says here, when the M2B CPU or M2C CPU connector is populated, it doesn't define if it's Gen 5 or Gen 4 drives or Gen 3 drives. It just says when it's populated. The PCIe X16 slot operates up to X8 mode. So that's what freaks me out. I don't want to put drives in those two slots if my card is going to be operating at X8. That's what I want to avoid, right? I mean, am I reading this wrong? Read the expansion slots. Yeah, I'm reading that. Maybe it's defined better down here. Times 2 M.2 connectors, M2B, M2C, integrated in the CPU supporting socket 3 M key type. Okay, we already know that. The M2B and M2C CPU connectors become unavailable when AMD Ryzen 8000 series. Well, we're not running 8000, we're running 9. M.2 connector, M2D SB, integrated in the chipset supporting socket 3. Yep. Okay, I mean, this line right here tells me we don't want to put it in M2B or M2C. I cannot pull out the PSU 18-pin connector. Anyone know where to rent Thor? The nearest gym, bro. Jeez. Which 18-pin connector are you trying to remove? 18-pin. Like, the 18... I'm trying to do math in my head. 18 pins. Where is there an 18-pin connector? Are you talking about, like, the USB 3.0 header? One of these guys? This thing? I think that's 19 pins, if I remember correctly. I swear it has to be impossible to pull out. So usually if you wiggle it side to side, I wish I had an example here. I really don't have a good example here, other than the slot itself if you're talking about the USB 3.0. But if you wiggle it from side to side or back and forth like so, you might be able to get it to pop. But I believe the best option is wiggle side from side this way, and you might get it to pop loose. A lot of times what will happen is these plastic shrouds will come off with the connector, the cable, which is kind of a pain. Wait, we're gonna do a center one. Kind of like what Chef said. I just wanted to show everybody like the homework behind it. 24 pin, I'm slow. So then that would be this guy up here. Your 24 pin is up here. There is a clip, which is going to be on the inside here, on this side, facing the front of the PC. Push that clip in and pull up, straight up. That is how you would remove one of those. Oh yeah, I forgot to put the screws back in that. Nice. I'll be in contact with you very soon. Finally retired my Mafiti keyboard. Nice. And that's not a keyboard name that I've heard in a long time. That means you go way back. Way back. It ran 4 years strong. You know, you got some pretty good value out of that. I'm gonna say. Really good value there. No, I agree with you, yeah. It should be allowed. But what I don't want to do is, you know, cut half the performance on the card. Look at that I/O. Nice. I don't know if there's any. That was it. It's actually really nice. I really like the board a lot. Very clean. Very clean white board. All right. So now I think we're ready for the case. Hello, chat. What's up? Unknown. Rye. No, the unknown. Rhino. Rhino, the unknown. Welcome to the build show. Jay, I was worried about the white, but it looks awesome so far. Oh yeah, Jay. Yeah, the white is beautiful. The only reason why I had to really look that up, guys, is I've not worked on this particular board, so this is a newer board. Like all the last Titans that I've done have all been black, so I've not done an ICE X870E in a while. If not, this might actually be my first one. And you can never assume. You always have to check. Last thing you want to do is find out, open up GPU-Z and find out you're running in half bandwidth on a 5090 and you're like, oh, and then you have to change the drives out. Kind of sucks. But build it right the first time. This is the Lian Li Evo, the O11D Evo RGB. Pretty sure this was the RGB, right? Yes, in white. One of my kids, I'm late to the build. What's the specs? There's the specs. Thank you, Chef. You can always do exclamation point build in the chat to spit out the specs of the builds. One of my kids' builds I just did was the B850 gigabyte ICE motherboard. Definitely a nice looking board. Yes, they are very clean boards. Very clean. I do like them. I've done the X670Es before in the ICE. Those were really nice too. This was my first time doing an 870E. Always freaks me out when I do that. I'm like, no, please don't shatter. Isn't there a way to remove this? I always hate working with it. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I think it's 2 screws, 4 screws. Remove it. Yeah, leave it. These are going to go away. We're going to be putting fans there. I don't know. Still there, I guess. Very white. Seems to be one of the purest Titans. Does it slide straight up? No. The hinges are flipped so that you can't flip it up or down. You have to actually remove the hinge in order to remove that panel. Which is, you know, smart from Lian Li because it won't come off during shipping. But kind of a pain for us users. Sneaky plays. I'm new here. Do you flip these PCs? No, actually, these are all pre-ordered PCs. So, for example, Jay in the chat purchased this one for his son, Jace. This is the Titan from the website. So, As they get ordered, we build them from the website, or custom builds, or if you're local and want to drop your parts off and do the build, we charge $150 to build it for you, unless it's an open loop. If it's an open loop, it's obviously going to be more. So, but we do cool stuff like do it live. When I say we, just me. Yeah, bummer. But Sneaky Plays, more than just like a PC integrator, I'm more of an enthusiast. So, I do have a Discord channel, and we do help a ton of people with builds and answer questions and all sorts of cool stuff. So I guess if you have a unique question or if you're looking for help, thank you, some giant idiot. Exclamation point Discord in the chat. Look at you, a link to the Discord, and you're welcome to join and hang out, since I'm not always live here. Kind of like continuing the fun. Tons of people play games in there. I know we got a couple of people that play Helldivers, a couple of people that play PUBG, a couple of people that play Beyond All Reason, which, if you're not sure what Beyond All Reason is, the real-time strategy. It's one I play. I've enjoyed it. It's free. Toilet Wisdom, welcome to the build show. What's the best motherboard AM5 for RAM OC? I don't do a ton of RAM overclocking, to be honest. Especially with DDR5, there's a lot of stability problems. I'm probably not the best person to ask regarding RAM OC motherboards. But I would have to assume Asus ROG is probably one of the better boards for overclocking. Probably one of the easier boards to overclock with. It always has been. For like, they've carried that crown for a long time. But Gigabyte BIOS is getting a lot easier to work with now. So it has definitely changed over the last year, the last 2 or 3 years, the Gigabyte BIOS. And it's one that I can actually recommend now. So. Why didn't I catch this earlier? Gotta remove that to put the screw in. Come here, you. So the Titan also comes with the fancy hardware kit. It has all the extras for the case, so if anything ever has to change in the build or any new hardware, you get a fancy hardware kit. With the Titan, with the case. Let's see here. I've been playing Mafia, the old country lately. You know, that one actually looks really, really good. Mafia 2 Definitive Edition is next. Both of those look good. Honestly, really good. They interest me. I do want to try them. I just don't get a ton of time to play games anymore. Rhino the Unknown. I have another build with those Lian Li fans in a Lian Li Cool 3 case. Land Cool 3 case. with the streamers for the motherboard and GPU. They look great. But the software can be a pain to run sometimes. Yes, the L-Connect 3 software can sometimes be a little buggy, especially with some of their newer stuff always takes, usually it seems like a few months to kind of get corrected through firmware upgrades and app updates with the L-Connect 3. So if you haven't already recently, uninstall L-Connect 3, re-download it brand new and reinstall it, and see if that helps with any of the bugs. That seems to have solved a lot of the wireless connectivity stuff. If you're running some of the newer wireless streamers, they seem to have been resolved since then, but I've seen people having to go to the lengths of uninstalling L-Connect 3 and re-downloading it and reinstalling it to get it to work. So, alright, we've got our motherboard installed, along with our CPU, our contact frame, our mounting hardware for our cooler, our RAM's installed, and our two 4TB M.2s are installed in the proper M.2 slots that are not going to impact the performance of our X16 slot. And the board is in the case. And now I'm going to start plugging some stuff in from the back, the front panel stuff to the board, which we have USB-C here, USB-3 here, 4 down here at the bottom. See, we've got our front panel, power, reset, etc. here, our HD audio over here, and the rest of it we'll kind of start touching later once we start adding the fans and whatnot. Build. We need a total of 4 channels from the hub. We have 1 hub from the pack of 3 that it came with, so hopefully that's enough for all the fans. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 channels, so it should be enough. I think I'm going to send all of this down to the bottom. USB 3. So USB-C obviously can't, but front panel 3 audio, and we have an ARGB connector for the RGB, which we'll put it on the bottom one. There we go. And now we can pretty much just start tackling some fans. We'll just go right into the fans. Okay. No idea what just flew off there, but nice. And for this, we're doing 3 reverse blades, Unifans SL Infinity 120s. And hopefully I installed them correctly this time. I know just that you're going to see better graphics on Old Country, and going to is a culture shock. Yes. Too bad they cannot come up with a connection for the front hub. Yeah, right? All in one wire, eliminate all those extra wires. No, instead, they want to keep that you spend more money on the zero option from MSI, which has all the connections on the backside. So it's a money thing when it comes down to it, if you think about it. It's always money. Always a money thing. The other reason is they need to make it, or keep it, universal backwards compatibility. So if they started a new thing, maybe make a bridge and then start adding that, introducing it. I don't know. MSI did something actually like that on the Godlike board. Very similar. They had this like whole bridge thing going on, which was kind of a cool concept, but not quite, you know, fully what we're talking about, but close. Be back. Need to take the dog out. Nice. No worries. I will most likely be here. But then again, when you drop 6,000 bucks on a PC, money isn't an object anymore. Yeah. Yeah, when you drop a lot of money into a build. You know what game that would be like super cool if they did like a, maybe it's out and I don't even know it, a Game of Thrones version of like Elden Ring. Or Skyrim, sorry. That would be pretty epic. Oh, the wrist. Start to burn. Fine. Alright. Oh, me. Man, did not want to go back in there. Kind of felt like I was arguing with Cartman. Dude. Where'd my wife is tonight? Clean. Plenty of room for cable management in the back. Oh yeah. Tons of room back here. Are you using the Lian Li fan hub? Yes. We will be using the hub for the SL fans tonight. Question is do we want them in or out? I think we want them out. It's going to be vertical anyway. Means top. Top is here, bottom is here. They mount reverse this way. Again, 3 more fans. Let's go. You're back. Dog is taken care of. Nice. Fast business. Is always good business. Are you using the Lian Li fan hub? Yeah, I already answered that. Go to King Road. Free game then. Oh. I'll have to check that out. Austin. Mike. Yeah, it's gonna look good. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. Realized my USB not as tight as I wanted it. Later. What's one more zip tie, guys? Okay. Much better. zip ties. Zip ties and duct tape holds the world together. Isn't that the truth? There's a lot of zip ties on planes, guys. I know. A lot of zip ties in planes. Think about that next time you fly. I probably want this coming off the top. Would be yeah. Looking good. If you guys wonder why I put all the screws in these fans, it's because you haven't experienced what one of these fans will do when they come loose during shipping and act as a piece of shrapnel. If you haven't seen that before, or if you have, then you'll fully understand why I put all the screws in. It's happened before. Like, I didn't know that would be possible. Loose fan just bouncing around. Thankfully, you know, I packed the inside of the PC pretty nicely, so it can't really go far. But you'll be surprised how well it can navigate through internal packaging. So since then, I put all the screws in. Every single fan, even though they're connected. Actually, we want to start on this side and work our way up. Oh, yeah. That one's coming together nicely. Call me crazy. But rather than choking out the radiator fan right here by sucking air out the back, I like to put a reverse blade there. Is that crazy? I've noticed a little bit of a better performance when doing that, because literally the air comes in and it just gets sucked right out. I don't know. Thoughts on that? Reverse blade in the rear. I like doing that in these. I've had pretty good success with it. The only thing that people really argue is, does it disrupt the rest of the airflow in the system? Really? No, because your leader is going to be your CPU fans, which is going to be on the radiator, and that's going to be probably working harder and faster than everything else when it gets hot in real time. So that'll win, and that's exhaust. It's literally just drawing everything up. Nope, good idea. I've had people in the past tell me it was a dumb idea. I haven't found a reason not to do it yet, so I'm gonna keep doing it. It's been working. Do. I'm also going to want this lower if possible. Could take those off, but I don't. Also, these fan screws are very noticeable, so I'm not going to use the black ones. I have silver ones for these. That are you. I'm so sorry. Ah, crap. Yeah. Oh, you can't believe you can't make this crap up. Got the zip tie up here in the corner too. The next, before we put the cooler in, we're going to want to put our EPS extensions in, which we have here. Some nice white and black ones, which were requested by the customer. So we're going to do those. What's that? Using an AIO, it'll definitely be fine, but using an air cooler, oh yeah, no, definitely not with an air cooler. Wouldn't want to do that. We know that. I need that one. I need that one. Don't need that one. These two, however, are needed. What about this one? Do we want the black or the transparent combs? I think the black ones with the black and white at this point. Uncle Albert just came to mind from my singing session there. I was asking where the screws were. Where are you? I'm so sorry. My terrible singing skills. I think the black combs with the black and white cables would be a good accent at this point. Adds a little bit of flavor to the build, other than just being pure white. I think that's what he was going for with the black and white cables that he chose. Yep, the wings. Pure wings. Pure white. It'd be better. Would have been better. Well, Jace had chosen black and white, the cables. I agree. I think, you know, we went this far with the white. I would have gone all white as well, but this was the choice. So, if they don't like it, they can message me before I ship it out, and I would be more than happy to change it out for them. Very easy to do. I'd be more than happy to do so. Last thing I want to do is send a product that they're not happy about, even though they chose it. If they want to go with all white and they change their mind, definitely let me know, probably before Tuesday, because this is probably going to be picked up by Tuesday. And then it might prolong the shipment, because then I gotta take it, put it back on the box, or take it out of the box, put it back on the bench. But I'm more than happy to go through and do that. Make sure they get what they want. think the black contrast will add a little bit of flavor, though. I actually might have some white combs here too. I could put white combs in on these. That actually might look better instead of the black. Definitely have white combs sitting around here somewhere. TC, Rhino? Alright, Rhino. You gotta go to bed? Working on a custom machine. You guys have a great night. Great build also. Thank you. Yeah, make sure you come back around. Check out the results. Definitely. It'll be on the YouTube channel. Make sure you follow us. Catch another build. Hey, what's up, Jay? Ben! Oh, telling you, somebody yell, LOL. Oh, shit. Oh, shoot. You and do it now. White. Hold on. I'm eating, you know, now stop. Okay. What is it, Jay? I must have missed that because I was heads down putting those in. I think pure white would be better too, LOL. So do you want me to switch it to pure white? Let me check to see if I have 24-pin and 8-pin EPS in pure white. I don't know if I have those on hand. I'd have to order them. But it's something I could get tomorrow. I've got literally every single color of white except for pure white here. So I got purple and white, I got pink and white, I've got orange and white, I've got black and white, I've got blue and white, but I don't have any more pure whites because that's pretty popular. So I'll order those and I can get them here. We'll just leave the black and whites in for now. I do already have so for the 12 volt high power cable, I do already have a pure white with the black end on them. So I guess it's not pure white, it's white with a black end instead of the black and white cable. So I have that. But these, I do not have in pure and white. I can order those and get it here. Let's see how long. Why is it so hard to find these? Okay. Cables are ordered. They will be here tomorrow, the 18th. So, I'm going to keep these in here just for now, but we're going to switch it over to the white ones. You won't be able to see that until you receive it. I could always take a picture and send it to you, I guess. But I also ordered the pure white version of this cable. So instead of having the black tips on the end, it's going to be pure white. So we'll have pure white cables in the end. Nice. Perfect. Yeah, I have every color here except for pure white. That's because it's a popular color. Everybody likes white. So, and they're actually more difficult to get. So, I did good. Okay, good to go. So now we've got our EPS cables in and our 24 pin in. Those are set. we'll be replacing those later. So I'll keep that in mind when I cable manage. Make it easy for me to go in and replace them. But they'll be pretty easy to swap out. I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the cooler, which is going to be mounted up here at the top, which we already opened up and pulled out of the box earlier for the mounting hardware. So we're already here at this point. Yep. Just try not to destroy the box, and then you destroy the box. Nice. Whatever. That goes over there in that pile. The idea with this shift cooler is that it goes in and the hoses line up perfectly for the we actually might put that bracket in for this one. I think we'll do it. So I'll put that bracket in probably just to hold the tubes a little tighter, and then it will make the L down. So we do need to prep our fans, which we have a regular pack of the Infinity fans matching the rest of the other fans that are in the system, but they're regular. So the airflow is going to be exhaust, so it blows the air out the top, not intake like the rest of them. Actually, might have to switch these fans out for these because I didn't realize this hub is this style. No big deal, we could do that. Except for the bottom one that I zip tied. That sucks a little bit. I thought this was one of the newer hubs. My bad. Should have looked at it first. So I'm gonna pause on the cooler install and get that fixed right now, so that's taken care of before we add more weight to the build. You have to flip it around a few times. Pause for station identification. What we have to do here, I'll kind of explain it. This cable that comes with the hub, or the pack of fans with the hub, has this connector. The fans that I put in has the new style, which is the split PWM and RGB, which you would typically be able to plug into the hub that comes with the cooler. And I assumed that these fans would come with the newer style hub, but they did not. So we're going to use the older Lian Li SL connector for the SL Infinity fan hub. That way we're running it through L Connect. Since we're going Lian Li, we want to be able to run everything through L Connect. What that means is I have to undo these cables for all of the fans that I've already put in, redo them, and add this style connector. Not too bad. Couple of zip ties we have to undo. And we're right back where we were. This prolongs the belt, that's all. Oh yeah, some of their fans are the best. Whatever gamer dreams about. Oh yeah, they are getting a beast of a PC here. Literally one of the best. Built by one of the best in the state of Michigan. Jesse's like, hold on here. In my head, I'm screaming just a little bit. The inside. I should have known better. I should have looked. Actually going to drop the tie on there. Just for the cable management purposes. I'm addicted to the cable management. Okay, and then we'll guy through. And this guy through. Maybe. And we just have to undo these cable ties, unfortunately. We spent so much time on. We have to pull this one out. Could have just left it in there and said, nah, whatever. But I'm not that type of guy. I can't go to bed tonight knowing that I did that. And then we're going to retie. All right, problem solved. We have them all up there, ready for the hub when we get to that point. I guess we could probably trim those all up. And we'll be back there to finish cleaning up that cable management later. Let's get the fans on the radiator and get the radiator cooler mounted. I think we could fit this. Gonna fit. These little ends pop off. You just twist and pull. Those pop so that we can get this nice and close to the back here as needed. Come on. And then the AIO comes with the screws. Would the Y70 be a hard case to build in? Dirty? No. No, the Y70 is actually that's actually one of the cases I should have talked about earlier when that question came up about one of my favorite cases. But the Y70 was actually a delight to build in. Delight. Yeah, literally everything on the Y70 just makes sense. Very well thought out. Very well thought out case. Probably should have pulled those after I hung it. Let's verify whether or not we are going to need that bracket. Go with the bracket in this case for the hydro shift. I think I used it the last time too. I actually forgot about this USB component. And before we want to put this in, actually going to put these guys on the tubes. Try to make it easier. I jogged itself over like that. Trying to get these bottom fans and top fans centered up as close as possible. as symmetrical, centered up as possible. I ordered 7 fans. Hope it goes well. I think 7 fans will do it. We're doing 7 fans in this one. Damn it. Not too big of a fan of the position here. Hmm. It died? Hey, I mean, you can swap them out if you want. Did I take my screwdriver over there? Stupid. Hello. Trying to get this a little bit more centered on the rack. Rip. Yeah. Yeah, it's somewhere. I'm gonna find it. Sure. Maybe I shouldn't have used that extra bracket. It's gonna pinch these cubes pretty tight. Oh, I felt like it was... Okay. I think what was pinching it was this thing here. I was pretty sure I used it. Let me pop that up. So, gotta paste it up. So, Cryonaut Extreme by Thermal Grizzly. You went with Asia Horse fans? Nice. What AIO is this, guys? This is the Hydro Shift by Lian Li, a Hydro Shift LCD. There's my picture art for the night. There we go. Go with what you can afford. Yeah, facts. All right. Looking clean. Next is a GPU. This GPU is going to be vertically mounted. And we have... All right, moment everybody's been waiting for. Cooler Master Universal Vertical Graphics Card Holder Kit is what it's called, but it's a GPU vertical mount. And it's universal, pretty much fits with every case. These are hard to ship with, so the card will be uninstalled when we ship this. We don't want it to fall off and get damaged. It's hard to support the weight of a 5090 on a vertical adapter bracket while it's being shipped. So this will 100%, or the graphics card at least, will 100% be shipped uninstalled from this. That is some assembly that you'll have to deal with when you get it. And of course I'm here for support if you need help. But it's very simple. It is 3 screws and 1 cord to put the card back in when you receive it. So pay attention to kind of this process, or clip it, or whatever you're doing. This is something you'll have to redo. Not the bracket itself, but when we put the card on the bracket, that'll be inside the system when you have to do it. I need to get rid of some of this trash that's getting in my way. Front. Clipped a bunch of zip ties, left them here. Into that can, you. This step you are not going to be doing. This will already be done. Ready to go in there. That's why I'm not showing as thoroughly. Pretty sure I could fit this in there. Well, now we are ready for the actual GPU. We have the bracket in. Get as far away from the glass as we can get it. While also trying to clear clear the cooler, because I know this is a massive card. All right, over and get that card out. The RTX 5090 by Gigabyte, the Aorus Master. All right, let's see here. Thermalbright Warframe 360mm AIO is a little cheaper with LCD screen. Yes, but the software is much different. Glad you're around, Ben. The last PC I built was 1997 and ran Windows 3.11. Oh man, had some just running DOS. Yeah, no, actually, I've worked on those systems before, back in like 2008, 2009. In my early IT career, I had actually worked with computers that had Windows 3.1, and the reason why is because they were designed for CNC machines, and they would do jobs on the regular desktop and then send it. I think it was via floppy. Put it on a floppy and then load the floppy in the machine, and then it would run the job from the floppy. And it was, still effective, and, CNC machines aren't cheap, so this company just ran it until it died, finally. The actual CNC machine, not the other PC, the PC itself, which was running Windows 3.1. So, that's my my experience with Windows 3.1, is having to deal with nightmares like that, where you walk in and you're like, you're running what? What is it? They call like a regular computer shop for a CNC Windows 3.1 machine where that hasn't been in service in many years. It's like, you're crazy. Jay, did Windows 3.11 store your history? Did the system collect data, send it back to Microsoft? I'm guessing no, since it was a disk operating system. Yeah, I don't think the wide open net was that big yet. Didn't have the bandwidth for fun stuff like that. And it's true, if you look at the disk out after use, you could not get a virus. This is true. I don't know, nobody was worried about that back then, just happy to see the background instead of a C prompt. That is a plus. We still use, actually, to this day, Jay, we use, instead of command prompt, we use PowerShell. So PowerShell's got way more variables that you could use, so you could do way more sophisticated scripts that you could run, or lines. But we use that a lot with connecting to Office 365 or Microsoft 365 to make commands happen without using the GUI, because it's a lot faster. For example, if I have to change the password on a bazillion users in Microsoft 365 in Azure Active Directory, or Entra AD, or whatever you want to call it now, it would take me forever to do that manually versus using PowerShell, connecting to the tenant through PowerShell and then running the commands. It would take me like 5 minutes to build out a batch, and then writing up an Excel or a CVS file, a CSV file. Jeez, drawing a blank on those. File type, and using that from my local PowerShell to run against the script, and that would save me tons of time. You know, I could sit there and tell my boss, "Yeah, I'm still working on the passwords." They're already done. But no, PowerShell today is similar to command prompt back then, and still use it to this day. Still as powerful. More powerful, actually. So let's reveal the 5090. That's cool. I actually don't know why they gave me the extra fan. It must be for card. Adding it. Oh, it's to. I think it's to add it to the back of the card, which we probably can't do on this particular setup. This thing is absolutely massive. It's massive. Hey there, big boy. Yeah, it's big. And it weighs a ton. I'm pretty sure that extra fan to go backside. If I remember correctly. So, a bunch of stickers come with it, which is cool. It'll be included with all your manuals and stuff that come with the PC, so you'll have those. Yeah, rear mount fan install. We're not going to be using this vertical bracket, or I'm sorry, not this vertical bracket, but this support bracket, because it's going vertical. But cool. Feel time. £4.7, say 5 pounds. This has got to be a good like 6 or 7 pounds. Feels like a typical dinner I would eat. Okay, so this is the process that you're going to probably want to pay attention to. When you receive the card, it's going to be in the anti-static bag. It'll probably be in a foam block, and then it'll be inside the system here as some of the internal packaging, or it'll be in its own box separate on the external box. One of the two. Hey, what's up, Chris? Welcome back to the Build Show. Over there on the Twitch side. So just so you kind of get an idea, you'll unpack it, and then we'll do the process of actually installing it, which is very simple. It's to line up these gold teeth with this black strip. This little flip mechanism, switch mechanism here that I'm pushing with my index finger up and down. You want it in the down position. It should be in the down position before you receive it. But if it's not, if it's in the up position and you push it down, make sure it's in the down position. Next, you'll have 3 screws here that you'll have to remove, because I'm going to put the 3 screws back in here for shipping, so they're there. So you'll have to remove those before you put the card in. And that will be these 3 screws here. Then, all you do is line up these gold teeth with this black strip vertically, as if it's just going to land in that slot. And sometimes getting low and looking is helpful. But you'll feel it slide into that slot. You might have to give it a little bit of pressure to fall in. But once we have it in the slot and the lever has positioned upwards, which, like I said, getting low with the PC standing up is helpful if it's on a table, for example. And then the other thing that's very helpful, which I could send you one of these if you need it, is a short screwdriver, but not too short, because we still have to clear the GPU. But they're helpful to get inside here and then put the 3 screws right back where they were, and we're going to tighten those all the way down. I'm going to lift the GPU a little bit just to give it some support so we are mounting it evenly, or as even as possible. Then once we are happy with the mount, then we would plug in our our 12-volt high power cable, which is going to be the cable. It's going to be loose inside the computer with the packaging. You'll find it, and it plugs into the top. It only plugs in one way, and you'll want to make sure that that connection is all the way in. If there's any type of gap, you will have problems with the card eventually, or it might cause physical damage to the card, which would not be covered under the warranty. The 4090 or 5090, this is the RTX 5090, is the Asus Aorus Master OC. Yes, it is a massive 512 watt bus, or 12-bit bus, sorry. Watt. Thinking of wattage because I'm looking at a power cord. But very simple. You have a clip on this cable. This only goes in one way. The clip is actually going to face the inside of the computer. And you push it straight down into the power connector at the top, which I know you can't really see. Let me try to get a better view of this for you. So, got the clip facing the computer, goes in. The other end of this cable is already going to be in the system going to the back, so you won't be able to really see where that goes. But put your hand under the card to kind of support it while you're pushing down on it. And then your card would be ready to go. And it should look something like that when it's done. It is, because of that weight, pretty wobbly. There's one thumb screw here that you can adjust the in and out. Obviously this is going to be really close to the glass, so I'm going to want this pushed as close to the board as possible, pushed inwards as close as possible, or as much as possible, because further away we can get this from the glass, the better. Now, the benefit is we have 3 fans down below pushing air up, so it is going to help push air up into the card, and there's fins underneath on the bottom for cooling. It'll help a lot. These bottom fans are going to help this GPU a lot. So that is that. There's also on the back of the bracket, there's 2 flip switches, or flip, how do you call them? Little flip what do you call these things? Little flip switches. You can flip them, and then you can move the card forward and backwards if you want to reposition it towards the back more, or reposition it towards the front. I actually might do that. It's easier to do if you loosen this and pull it forward. Then you have space to get back there and feel the connector or the switches. But if you pull up, it releases it. And then we could actually slide the card forward into a better position, and then push the switches back down to lock it back in. And then we'll push the card back in and tighten down the thumb screw. And then the card's kind of locked into place now. Can't really go anywhere. And it's pushed more symmetrical with the bottom fans, I think, when we push it this way. So that's the position you'll want it, is as far back after you get the screws in, because if we push it in before we put the screws in, you won't be able to get the screws in. Toggle switch, thank you. That's a good term for it. I'm trying to think of a terminology for it, and I should have showed you what it looked like before I put it in there. But on the box, it's these little gray things on the back side, so we're reaching on the back side of that and pushing it, flipping it up to release it, and pushing it down to lock it. That allows the mechanism to slide back and forth. The whole bracket moves. Now it's locked into place where we kind of want it for use. So this is kind of what we would want to see. We'd want it all the way this way, lock, and then as far in as we can push it. Don't push it to the point where it's breaking something. And then you can just tighten this with your thumb. You don't even need a screwdriver to finish tightening that up. It doesn't have to be insanely tight. And then we're good to go. Graphics card is in and ready to run. We don't see any gap between the connector, the power connector here. We don't see any gold teeth down here. And those are the 2 important things that you want to make sure are seated fully, is your power cord and your teeth into the the PCIe slot down below. And with those 2 being completed and everything secured, you should be good to go to fire it up at that point. So. With that being said, we're actually ready to put a power supply in here. And with the power supply, that means we're practically ready to fire this thing up. We just gotta get the power supply in there, do a little bit of cable management on the back side, which I'm not gonna go crazy on because we're just gonna swap out those cables tomorrow anyway, before we ship it. I'm gonna flip this over gently. We've got a hub that we have to put in for our Lian Li. Ah, crap. You know what I forgot? USBs for the hub and this. I got too excited and I was like, let's do the graphics card, yay. Well, might be taking that card back out. Is this PC shipped with the 1590 installed? No. 1590 comes out. Shipped uninstalled. 5090 goes with it, but not installed. No way, Jose, not in a vertical position. Yeah, you can't ship graphics cards in a vertical position like that. In a PC, they become one big piece of shrapnel, and very expensive usually. Usually a very expensive piece of shrapnel is what it becomes. It just bounces around inside the system if we don't package it up. Yeah, there's 2 USB connections that we had to plug in that I didn't plug in before I put the card in, because I'm special. That is why they... Stupid stuff like that. I just need the cable in there. That is one heavy card. I actually might be able to do this. Big might. I need my surgical pliers for this one. I mean, the card has to come out for shipping anyway, but we obviously want to fire it up. Stream sake of the stream with the card in it. Yeah. Bloody hell. See what we can do. We use the toggle switches in our favor. Kind of. I just ruined it. Don't do what I'm doing. There's definitely a more ethical way for doing this. Not the way for doing it. Put the card in back in last at this point in case I forgot something else. I'm just gonna hold off on that. Don't look like an absolute. And then this is our pump. Go back up this way. Not a whole lot you can do there. Yeah, that's larger than the NV1. Yeah. So Jay, what games is first on the list? This computer. He cycles through a bunch of them. I thought you said it was Minesweep. Sorting out some of these cables, guys. Can't turn this PC on day after Labor Day all that way. Okay, I think I'm finally satisfied with cable management. I can very easily replace these when we go to replace them with the all-white cables. Good. Now, let's get the power supply up. Finally. Yeah, getting late. L-A-T-E. Sorry guys, I know it's going pretty late here, guys. Thanks for hanging with me here. not that late, enjoying watching this amazing build. Thank you. I don't hear anyone complaining, Ben. I know, I just feel bad. I know it's a Sunday night, tomorrow's a work day, so if people were already invested, I feel kind of bad they're waiting. PCIe, PCIe. All PCIe. CPU. Thank you. By the way, guys, if you're ever installing your own PSU cables, don't ever try to force it in like I was just feeling resistance there. The moment you feel resistance, you should always take a peek. And, okay, what's holding it up? And then give it a little wiggle, and you'll find that it grooves its way in, and then push it in. Don't ever force it in. If you force it in, you could damage your cable or your pin inside the power supply. That's never a good day. Usually turns into a bad day. Actually, don't know how much cable we're going to need there. So I'm going to want these two probably first. Oh, bloody hell. almost as if I planned for that. Well, I don't know how to get it here. Extension. Something like that. Put it down here. Not trying to get too crazy because I gotta undo all this, or at least the extensions need to be undone later, tomorrow. So that'll be that. What do you guys think? Ben, what happened with Saturday's build? Why didn't it work right? Or was that Friday? I think that was actually Monday last week, almost a week ago. That ended up being a power supply issue, Austin. So I did post a YouTube short on it and kind of gave everybody an update. So if you want to check out that YouTube short, that gave you an update on that build. But I ended up getting the replacement power supply for him, or he ended up getting the replacement power supply, dropping it off, and then I installed it for him. So, frosty. I like it. Very, very white. It'll be more white when the cables get here. Alright, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup real quick. Get some of this garbage that is developed through the course of the build out of the way. And then we will fire this thing up and I'll show you guys this thing powered on. We get to see if Ben still knows how to build a PC. See if it posts. There. There. Uh-oh. Not going to be using these black ones. Not going to mix them with your stuff because we're going to pull those anyway. Couple of fingerprints. All right. That side profile view, where'd my mouse go? There it is. Hung up on. Camera's getting bumped. All right. Jay, on behalf of Jace, I might have to keep that. What do you got for a couple grand for my kids? We got some pretty good builds. You could do a really nice build. We could do another white one. Maybe not as, high-end white like this one, but we could definitely make a really nice white one for around 2 grand, similar to this. You ready, Jay? I mean, if it's gonna be your machine, we could just call it your machine right now. I could update the update the name live for you if you'd like. So we're waiting on Jay to tell us when he's ready to push this power button. Move that bus. Joker, LOL. Let me know when you're ready to push that power button, Jay. We are ready. The whole world is ready to see the new Titan. I'm just kidding, it's great though. I know. But for anybody else who's looking, we could make a really nice white PC with a $2,000 budget. Fire in the Hole, Mike Thompson says. Oh, perfect song for actually firing this thing up, to be honest. Very vibey song. Ready. All right. 3, 2, 1. It's always a beautiful thing when it actually fires up. Yeehaw, Pa. Wow, she's pretty. She is very pretty. She'd be even more pretty if she posts something on the screen. It's like we're cycling memory training. Here we go. I think we're going for it. Went to zeros again. There's the post. We're actually in the BIOS. Enable X3D Turbo Mode to boost gaming performance. System detects you installed a X3D CPU. Would you like to enable the X3D Turbo Mode for boosting gaming performance? Please note, the option will adjust the CPU core and thread count. Gaming performance improvement may vary by CPU and DRAM's condition. Note, you can disable X3D mode option in BIOS later if you need. I'm going to say no for right now, because we're going to be just updating the BIOS anyway later. Nice. She's alive. It's alive. I don't think there's anything else you could have put. You put everything. The only other thing I could have done, Joker, is Gen 5 SSDs instead of Gen 4. But, I mean, these are MP44s. They're pretty fast SSDs to begin with. So, I don't think he's going to miss out, or they're going to miss out on any performance, really, with that for gaming. Definitely not. But, it's pretty. And yes, the RGB on the fans do flicker like that. That is typical for the master RGB. And they only flicker when the fan is in motion. So the lights are only on around the circular, around these fans here, these three. They only turn on when the fans are running. And the fans only run when there is a load or when we're in the BIOS here. Once we get everything loaded up, it's going to go to 0 turn, which is going to shut the fans off, and that's going to be normal. So if you see those fans stop spinning, that is normal if you're not really doing anything that requires the graphics card. And you have the bottom fans, which will help a lot with pushing air through that card. Yeah. Yeah, that's just crazy though. They're too damn hot. The masterpiece, for sure. All the white boxes getting picked up behind me. Definitely very clean. Once we get those white cables in there, that'll change the look a little bit too. That's pretty. Oh, I thought you just gave me my initials. I know, BA built this, but my initials are badass. Are the GPU fans spinning in opposite direction? I don't know. Yeah, they're spinning in the opposite direction. I wonder if that's a switch that we have to change. Good call. I'll look at that. Probably a switch on this card, I'm assuming, to change the fan direction, or in the software. GPUs don't do that normally. The 5090 is defective. Send it to me. I will repair it. Nice try. Nice try. Couldn't be happier. Nice. Yep, so tomorrow we'll get the cables in. I've got to install Windows. Hopefully we get it through everything and get it all boxed up so it can go out on Tuesday. Kind of like what we were talking about, Jay. I think it was Friday or Thursday where we talked about that. But yeah, basically we just got to do the BIOS updates, do the Windows, do the testing. Then when those cables show up tomorrow at some point, hopefully earlier instead of later, then we'll get those cables swapped out to all white. And then after that, as long as it passes all of its tests and we don't have any issues, I can get it boxed up. And as long as I get it boxed up, it can get picked up on Tuesday. But worst case scenario, if for some reason the cables don't show up tomorrow, it would be going out on Wednesday. That is worst case scenario as of right now. But I mean, the build turned out really nice. And so far, there's no signs of any issues. It fired right up, so usually a good sign. And then yeah, then it should be on its way. Tuesday, Wednesday, it should go out. I'm gonna give a little bit extra wiggle room on my expectations, because typically this is a 9 days before it's out the door build. Business days. I'm trying to rush it out for you. I'm glad I got here to see it fired up at least. Yeah, Joker. Glad you stopped in too. Spinning in the correct direction. I don't know. Like, seems like it was spinning backwards. Spinning this direction. I thought it would spin this way. I don't know. I have to think about that. You guys have been playing with my head now, and it's 1:30 in the morning for me, and I gotta be up at 5 a.m. So I'm gonna get like maybe 4 hours of sleep. That's if I hit the snooze twice. Appreciate it. Yeah, no problem, Jay. No problem. I'm glad you like it. And we'll get those cables swapped out so it'll look even better. Alright, guys. That is it for me tonight. I am done for the night. I'm cooked. So, tomorrow night we actually do have another build. I was going to try to squeeze one in at the tail end of this one if we were able to start earlier, but I was not able to get this going earlier, unfortunately, so I apologize about the late stream. But tomorrow night, I do have, after one job, because I've got, if anybody knows Michigan at all, I've got to drive from Pontiac to Flint, and my last job is going to be out in Flint. So that means Flint will put me getting back here probably around 9, and then I've got to eat some food and then get ready. So it's probably going to be another late night stream around 10 p.m. But it's just, unfortunately, it's just been slammed. I've just been slammed since I got back from vacation. So it's going to be like that for probably another week. And then we'll be able to hopefully get back into a better schedule and have some earlier streams. So, yes. Good night, everybody. Thanks everyone for hanging out, especially at the late hours, to see the build come to life for Jay and Jace and all of them. We'll see you on the next one. Have a good night, guys. See you tomorrow night. Yes, busy is good.